I'm your host, TaSheena Braxton, and I am on a mission to disrupt the industry standard that fancy titles make leaders and teaching my clients how to become leaders and get their own seats at the table. Every week, I will explore a topic that impacts women of color. I will unpack the topic and provide learning so that you can feel equipped to step into leadership. I went from laid off to an entry-level job to a mid-level multiple six figures role where I wasn't the highest on the org chart, but I was able to sit in rooms with CEOs, CFOs, and CMOs without a fancy title. As a mom of 4, a wife, and the eldest daughter of 6, I know what it means to lead in every aspect of your life and to be able to translate that into the workplace. Welcome to the Leadership Beyond the Title podcast. So glad to have you here. Now let's get into it. Hello. So in this episode, I want to talk about a strategy that I've created to help my clients figure out what's next in their careers, especially right now when so many people are being forced to pivot or even start over because of all the layoffs we're seeing. And let's be real, this has been happening, all of these layoffs, pretty much since companies decided that it was safe to bring people back after the pandemic. So I want to jump right into this week. So here we go. So if you don't already know, I have been laid off twice in the span of 10 years. Yes, y'all, I have been laid off twice. The first time I was 8.5 months pregnant and I already had 3 kids. I really had no idea what I was going to do. And I still remember exactly how I found out. I was an administrative assistant at that point, and I had access to my manager's emails because I managed her emails as her admin. And I saw the freaking thing that said that I was going to be let go. I felt so horrible that I pretty much took myself off of work. I asked my doctor for a doctor's note. I had to, the stress of it, she immediately took me off of work. So that was my saving grace. I was pregnant and they couldn't officially lay me off until after I had the baby. So I did have some time to figure things out. During that time, I interviewed over and over again for all kinds of roles. Didn't get them until I got the latest job that I had in biotech 3 months after I birthed my son, and things changed. But then a layoff happens a second time. This time it wasn't as shocking and it didn't feel as horrible. This time I wasn't pregnant, but I definitely had children, y'all. But the difference was I felt more prepared. I literally was going on a business trip that week, literally that week that I found out that I was being laid off. So I felt like I can go into this business trip, which was for my own business, with a position of this isn't just a side hustle anymore. This is actually the thing that I'm going to do. So I felt just a little bit more prepared at that time. And not to mention, the other icing on the cake was that I had a fatter severance. And I had already laid out such a great foundation to start my coaching and consulting business. And it was because in that 10-year span, I had stacked up 4 certifications with coaching, a master's degree in organizational development, and I just felt way more equipped than the last time. But you know what? No matter how much prepared I was on paper, I still had to deal with the emotional weight that all of it was bringing on me. Because when your job title is stripped away, it can literally feel like you have lost a part of your identity. Okay. And I cannot say that that's not true for all of us. We all have that moment. But both times I literally went through those 5 stages of grief. I just felt better the second time. But there were moments when the pieces of my identity that I felt was stripped away had me question my skills, my worth. And it wasn't so much consciously, but there was a lot of subconscious things in the background that it was literally a blind spot for me that my coach had to kind of point out and let me know that this is what she was seeing. And I'll just say, that's the thing about coaching. Your coach can hold up a mirror so you can see what you don't realize is holding you back. And that has been so helpful for me. But what that mirror showed me was that I was constantly questioning my skills. I was super afraid of visibility, although I felt like I was being visible. There were so many things that said that I was not leaning into that. I'll tell you, for the longest time, I hid from LinkedIn. I did not want to be on LinkedIn at all whatsoever. And then there was also things in my visibility. The reason why I had a lot of visibility issues because I was afraid of telling people what the freak I did. So those were the things that my coach was able to show me. But also some other things that I noticed was that I wasn't speaking up when I needed to. Just kind of said that. I was seeking permission instead of just moving forward. So there were also times when I wouldn't make a move unless my coach told me that I had the permission to do it, which was crazy because it's my job. It's not hers. However, I felt like I needed some level of permission to actually do or execute on the ideas that I had, which was crazy. So it was another example of like questioning myself. And then there were also times where I tried to do everything by myself, even though I had a coach. And that was no good because, like, here I go spending thousands and thousands of dollars on a coach, but still trying to be in my silo and do it all by myself. So here's a side note, another side note. If you have a coach, stop holding things back from them. They cannot help you if you are not keeping it real. Literally, trust your coach to have full responsibility and accountability for your progress and your success, and tell them everything that they need to know. So, me noticing all of these things about myself, I started to notice when I worked with my clients the exact same patterns. And there were two things that hit me about this. One, these problems are universal. So the problems of questioning yourself, being afraid of visibility, not speaking up, seeking permission, trying to do everything all by yourself and not asking for help, these are all universal experiences. But two, I already had a solution for them. And so that's when it clicked that every leader, every employee, anyone who has a job, who works, who's an entrepreneur, whatever, needs to have a career niche or niche, career niche. So, what is a career niche? I want you to think about it like a niche in business. When entrepreneurs niche down, they focus on a specific market or a specific industry instead of trying to serve everyone. Well, your career niche is what makes you stand out. It's what takes you from being just another generalist to someone with a clear, recognizable brand or specialty. This is important because there's this thing that is called multitasking. Let's talk about why this matters. Have you ever met someone who seems to be juggling everything so effortlessly? Maybe they're balancing work, they're balancing their family, they have a side hustle, and there's someone who just makes it look so good and so easy, like they just got it together. I will tell you, people tell me all the time, you do mommying so well, because they see me managing my kids' events. I'm at a sports event every week, okay, every weekend. And they see me working and they see me, in my entrepreneurial endeavors, and they see me coaching and taking care of a household. And just running this whole coaching business is just a thing in itself. But let me tell you something. Come close. If you look closer, you'll see that some balls are dropping because no one is actually good at multitasking. In fact, science proves it. When you constantly switch between tasks, your focus literally drops. And just think about it. Have you ever been in deep work? You're at your desk, you're typing away, you're into something, you're just really focused, and someone interrupts you. And then when they leave, you're like, wait, where was I? That pause, that you're trying to remember what you were doing before you got interrupted, that's called a switch cost. It is literally the time and energy that you waste trying to regain your focus for what you were doing. And that same thing happens when you're trying to be everything to everyone. When you are applying to random jobs, when you're trying to do all the things in your career at once, when you are tweaking your resume for every single job posting, you are constantly switching. And because of that, you will never build real traction. That is why I recommend that when you choose a career niche, you literally cut through all of that noise. You'll stop trying to fit into every role and you'll literally start owning the space that was meant for you. I had to learn this for myself. After I got my coaching certification, I could have stayed in biotech and doing just the scientific stuff that, was in the biotech industry. I could have even, went back to retail and sold clothes or shoes or something like that, right? I could have tried to blend the two things. Like, how do I put this together? But I knew deep in my heart and soul that I wanted to go all in on coaching because coaching is my soul's work. And I'll tell you, trust me, people question me. They asked me things when I was going all in on coaching, like, why are you doing all that coaching training? Literally, managers would ask me, you don't need to do all that. Nope, we can't pay for that. Because they didn't believe in the vision that I had for myself. I was even told that's not even relevant to your job, and which was strange because coaching is all about people. And if we are having customers and clients and things like that, you need people who enjoy working with people. And people would tell me, you don't need to do all of that. Like, that's enough. Don't do any more. But I knew that the deeper that I went versus the more wider that I went would help me advance in my career. And these skills that I gained are the exact skills that I built in coaching. The one that people told me were not relevant are the same skills that I use every single day in my business, and people know me for it. So there are benefits to having a career niche. You will build deeper expertise. Instead of having this surface level knowledge, you literally become the go-to person in that space. Everybody likes to be the go-to person. Trust me, when I work with people, they tell me they want to be known for whatever it is that they're doing. They want to establish themselves in their career. You establish yourself by going deep versus always trying to expand and go wide. The other benefit is that you increase your visibility and your credibility, because people will start to associate you with your niche, and it makes it easier for referrals and opportunities to find you. So people will say, so and so likes to engage in AI and they do a really good job in AI. And you know what? There's this opportunity that came up. I should think about them. I have a client who was so deeply involved in AI that a headhunter came and got them and brought them over to their organization because of AI. Trust me, literally. This person wasn't trying to do contracting and marketing and all these other things. They stuck with AI. The third reason why a niche is important is because you build a stronger personal brand. When you niche down, you become memorable. So it goes along with what I just said. Like, people find you, people associate you with that niche. And this helps you, number 4, market and message your skills better. So you don't have to rewrite your resume 50 times. The skills that are on there, the job that you are going for will align because you are super laser focused on that. And your skills and your strengths become a lot clearer. And then the last thing is you get more targeted opportunities. So instead of chasing everything down, you get alignment with the roles that actually fit you. So that's why niching down doesn't limit you. It literally will help you stand out, and it positions you as a leader. It will boost the credibility that you have because now you're credible to be known for a specific thing. People don't have to try to figure it out or be confused about it. And it makes you more influential in meetings, on projects, and in networking conversations because you know what you're talking about. And you don't have a problem talking about it because you have the deep expertise. Now, I know, I already hear you. I have so many interests, TaSheena. I don't want to just stick with one thing. There's a lot of things that I'm good at. There's a lot of things that I want to do. Listen, I hear you. I hear you saying if you focus too much on one thing, you are going to miss out and that won't be good for your career. But listen, you will not miss out because having a niche doesn't mean that you have to do one thing forever. It just means that you create a personal brand that makes it easy for people to recognize and trust your expertise, and you can build on it and refine it over time. So one of the things that I'll share with you is like coaching is where I have deep, deep expertise. What kind of is similar to coaching is organizational development, right? So there's a little bit of consulting in there, but there's so many of the same principles that I use in coaching that overlaps with organizational development. So much so that like I did have to go to college during the pandemic and it was hard to balance everything. But when I say the content of the coursework was like a breeze for me, it was literally a freaking breeze. Okay? Because I knew to pick something that was similar. And then from there, I ended up getting a change management certification from ProSci. Again, like who doesn't deal with change? I always say that change management is grief management, and grief management is usually supported by many coaches. Okay? So here's your homework. I am going to ask you to go and find your career niche. And these are 4 questions that you can ask yourself to uncover this. The first thing, what problems do you solve best? Number 2, what do people already come to you for? Number 3, where is there a demand in your industry? And for this question, I mean examples like, is AI in demand? Is contracting in demand? Is event planning in demand? Is administrative assistant in demand? What is it? And then the 4th thing is, what excites you enough to talk about all the time? Like, I say I'm an introvert, but I become very extroverted when you start asking me about coaching. I could go on and on and on. It's exciting. Okay. So do that homework and then see what you come up with. Now, if you are in transition, whether it's a promotion, a new job, or you've been laid off, I want you to know that niching down will get you focused and answer the question, what's next for me? Because then you can get really focused on what is next. So go do the homework and I'll talk to you next time. Have fun with this. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Leadership Beyond the Title podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, hit like, follow, and leave a comment. Share with your friends, family members, and other women of color leaders. Inside my one-on-one leadership coaching program, I will help you become the leader that you want to be with work-life integration and peace. By tapping into networks, growing your visibility and confidence, you will go from untapped, unseen, and underrepresented to attracting opportunities to take your career and your life to the next level. I use an equity-centered lens in my approach so that you feel seen, safe, empowered, excited, and committed to attract, create, and land opportunities in an unconventional way. To work with me, join my email newsletter, or to learn more about me, click the links in the show notes. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to being your coach. See you next week.